The Pinterest set of tools will make pinning less of a chore, but sometimes it can be a challenge to use these new tools. This video is going to show you how to find and use these cool tools. Now, as far as the finding process, we kind of touched on that in an earlier video when we were installing the Pin It button. And one thing I did not mention in that video that frankly I just found out about, and it's pretty cool, is that Pinterest is pretty intuitive. It actually knows which browser you're on. I didn't even notice this before, but of course I'm using the Google Chrome browser, and it even says so right here that it knows that I'm in the Chrome browser, and this is how I attach the Pin It button to my bookmarks. But what if I'm in the, say, Firefox browser? Well, let's just give it a shot. Open up Firefox, and let's go to that same page. Aha, pretty smart little page here. Now it tells me the exact instructions, which are different from Chrome, but now it tells me the exact instructions on how to add this Pin It button to my Firefox browser, which is a little different than it is for Chrome, and even more so with Internet Explorer. On the same page but different browser, again different instructions. So you don't have to worry about it as far as attaching the Pin It button. They got you covered no matter what browser you're in, at least ways for these three. Now let me get this guy out of the way here because I prefer to work with Chrome for the time being. If we scroll on down, of course you got the video here too, as I mentioned in the earlier video, but we've got a couple of other tools on this page, and that's the Follow button and the Pin It button for websites. And when it says websites, they're also referring to blogs. So if you're into WordPress like I am, and that's what I'm going to be demonstrating here, then these will also work with WordPress. Now with this one here, you've got four different tools or four different looks of the same tool that you can have on your site. Now these are ideal for like the sidebar of your website, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate. You simply choose the button or the look that you want to add to your sidebar, and it gives you the code over here to the right. Let's go with, let's say this one here. So you simply grab the code here by right clicking and left clicking on copy, head on over to your website, and once you get there you log into your back end or your dashboard area. Then you want to head on over to the appearance sub panel and go to widgets. And just to give you an idea, if you're not overly familiar with WordPress but you kind of sorta, or you got you a WordPress blog, let me show you what I'm talking about as far as the sidebar. That's this area over here of the site. And what I'm going to do is right below this or right above this image, yeah, somewhere in there, I'm going to put that Follow Me on Pinterest button. So if we come back here, what we need is a text widget. Let me see where that image is at. Yep, there it is right there. So I want to put it right below this text widget here. So let's go ahead and grab me another text widget right here. Drag that on up here. Come on, up we go. And right there, paste that code that's in my clipboard right there that I copied from here. Come on back here, click on Save and Close and View by refreshing the page. And there you go. And now then, if the person that's visiting your site has a Pinterest account, or even if they don't, they might be prompted to, I'm not really sure what happens if they don't have a Pinterest account, but I'm guessing that they will be prompted to sign up for Pinterest. We go and click on this, and it takes them to your profile page. Of course, since I'm logged in, it takes me to my profile page that I have administrative access to. So that's one cool tool. So we'll come on out of here. And another one is the Pin It button for websites. Now this is, and you got a couple of different looks here. This is something that you would add, say, below a particular post. And here you can choose the different look of the button that's going to show up below your content. So let's go with horizontal, and let's put the URL of the page to pin, the URL of the image to pin, and a brief description. So in this example here, the URL of this image, the URL of this page, and actually you would want to decide as far as the URL you want them to come back to when they click on your image. Do you want them to come back to the actual post page, or do you want them to come back to the main website page? That would be the URL you would want to put in here. Let's go and tackle this real quick. Now I'm going to come on down here to this one, and I'm going to right click, copy image URL, And this is something that you have with the Chrome browser. It might be different if you're using a different browser. Let's come on back here, and in the image URL slot, I'm going to paste that right in there and make sure we got the HTTP, just like it says there. And I'm going to direct them back to the main website here, like so, and a brief description. As you can see, as I start typing in here, the code starts popping up in here that we're going to be copying here in just a second. And we've got two tasks ahead of us. We want to grab this code and put it where we want the pin to show up, and then we want to come back and grab this code and put this directly above the closing body tag. So we just left click on this once and it selects everything for us, then right click and then left click on copy. Now we're going to come on back into our dashboard area, and let's go to that particular post. Go to all posts. I believe this is the guy right here. Yep, and right here below that text is where I want to put that code. Now at this point you do want to make sure you're in the HTML view, otherwise if you're in the visual view it's not going to work. It's going to look all funky. And paste that there. Update this post. Now then we want to come into the appearance and editor section for the theme that we're on, and I believe it's the footer section that shows the opening and closing body tag. Right here is the closing body tag. Now I believe, don't hold me to this, but I believe you can also put it in the header section just above the closing header, which is right here. I believe you can put that one code in either place, but let's do what it says. Let's follow instructions here, and we're going to do that by going to the footer.php file, and just above the closing body tag right there, I'm going to grab that code, and again just left click, right click, copy. Just like it says here, add this code to your page only once, directly above the closing body tag, and that's what it looks like. And this is an important note here. You can have as many pin it buttons on a page as you like, but you only need to include this JavaScript once. So once you add this to your site, you're good to go. All you have to do is grab this code for any other pin it buttons that you want to add to that particular page. Come on back here, add that there, update file. And by the way, I should say this too, before you make any adjustments to any code, you should always have a full backup of your site. And when I say full backup, I mean a backup of your database and of your files. And at the very least, you want to have a copy of this before you do any editing. Maybe you could just grab all this code by right-clicking, select all, right-clicking and copying, and then paste this in a text document somewhere in a folder that you have other elements of this particular site stashed away. Maybe add a date to it so that you know when that file was copied. In case something does happen, you always have a working copy somewhere on your computer to replace the one that got screwed up somewhere along the line. Anyway, it's just good practice to get in, is to have a full backup of stuff before you start editing things. Okay, so we are good to go. Just to make doubly sure, yeah, we got that edited successfully. Now we come on back here, and we should have, in the second one here, a pin it button down here once we refresh the page. And there we go. And if we click on this, actually I thought we had the number off to the side there. Okay, yeah, the number off to the side would be the number of times it's been pinned. Of course, there hasn't been any other pins, so that's why we only have no number off to the side. But here it's on my account, and it asks us which board we want to pin it to, and this is the description that we had added earlier. And you can change this and then click on pin it, and you're good to go. And if you want to add this to your Twitter feed, you've got that option as well. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel out of this. But now another tool, I think we've gone through all the tools here, but another tool that I wanted to mention before I close things out here is, I guess it would still be considered a tool, but I have signed up for the notifications, my weekly Pinterest activity notification that comes to my email account. And it basically gives me an idea of the trending items so far on Pinterest for that previous week, which might help me in my marketing endeavors. It also tells me a little bit more about my activities. If we head on over to settings, and then under notifications, This is the email address that it will send those notifications to. But what I'm looking for here is the news and the digest. With these two items on, occasional Pinterest news and updates, that's important to have. And this is what I was referring to as far as that tool. And that is just notifications giving you some type of a summary of your weekly activity, as well as not just your activity, but what's happening on Pinterest. You know, the hot items, the trending items on Pinterest. So make sure that you have these two items checked on. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on your Pinterest tools and how to use them. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy your pinning.